Welcome everyone to our 5 ways to strengthen referring doctor relationships in 2026 live session. We'll start with some quick intros. I'm Bruno. I handle demand generation and marketing efforts here at DSN. So I spend most of my time figuring out how we can help practice discover us and our solutions. But today I'm here to ask Tami the questions I know our audience is thinking. And I'm joined by my colleague Tami Ferro, our Director of Business Advancement. Tami, you've been working with specialty practice at DSN for over 20 years now. So I figured there's nobody better to talk about referral relationships than someone who's actually lived it.
Thanks, Bruno. Yeah, I actually have been with DSN now for 20 years. So I've had some time to watch what works and what doesn't when it comes to building referral networks. I'm really excited to be able to share today some of the patterns that we've seen across all these practices. And, since referral relationships are the biggest growth lever most practices have, this is something that's important to all of us.
Yeah, for sure. So before we jump in, Tami, when you say referral relationships are the biggest growth lever, what makes you say that over, say, marketing or advertising, for instance?
Yeah, because for most specialty practices, it's 80 to 90% of the patients that actually come to them through their referring doctors. You can run all the ads you want, but if your referral network is shrinking, then it's going to correlate with your schedule. It will be shrinking too. It's just that direct.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Okay, so let's jump into the setup for today. We've got 5 specific actionable ways to strengthen your referring doctor relationships. There's no theory, no fluff. Tim is going to walk us through what's actually working right now, and then I'll be asking questions along the way just to keep things practical. Tammy, you picked these 5 specifically. Why these?
Well, because these are the five that I see over and over when I'm working with our practices. They're not theoretical. These are gaps that show up when a practice tells me our referrals are down and we don't know why. It will almost always trace back to one or more of these five areas.
Okay. And just to set expectations with everyone, we're going to be keeping this very tight. So each one, we just get a couple of minutes. We'll give you something you can act on this month. And then we'll have some time at the end for Q&A. So feel free to send any questions you might have on the chat. And after, we'll also be sending a recording of this session to the email you used to register. So let's get into it. Tammy, let's start
Yes.
with the elephant in the room. A lot
Okay.
of practice feel like their referral relationships are fine. Kids are coming in. Why should they be worried?
Because by the time you actually notice the problem, it's already been happening for months. I've seen it often. A practice is humming along, referrals are steady, and then a new specialist opens up maybe just a couple of miles away. Or a referring office gets frustrated because maybe they didn't hear back anything from your practice after they referred a patient over. They don't call and complain. They just start sending their referrals somewhere else.
So it's more of a slow leak, not a sudden break.
Exactly. And that's what makes it dangerous. You don't see it in your schedule until it's already cost you months of your production.
Yeah. And I guess that by the time you notice it, the damage is already done. So yeah, let's move on to the first way. All right, making referrals frictionless. Tammy, this one seems very obvious, but I'm guessing most practices think their process is already easy.
They do. And I asked them to walk me through, their process from the referring office's perspective. And, how does a general practitioner usually send you a patient? And what I usually hear is, well, they call our front desk or maybe they fax a form over, and then we call the patient back to schedule the appointment. That's three steps where something in that can break and sometimes does.
Okay, so what would you say frictionless would actually look like?
Well, digital referral submission, one form takes under 2 minutes to complete the form. The referring office gets a confirmation that their form had been received. You're not playing phone tag. There's no fax. Did it go through? Ideally, the patient gets contacted within 24 hours.
Okay. And if a practice is still on fax or phone calls, what will be their first move then?
Ask your top three referring offices just one question. Ask them what would make it easier for you to send patients our way, and then listen and do what they say. You might be surprised to see how simple the fixes actually are.
Yeah, totally. The hard part is always getting started, right?
Right.
Okay, point number two, closing the communication loop. Tami, I feel like this is the one that people know they should do, but don't actually end up doing.
You're right. It is the biggest gap that I see. A general practitioner refers a patient to your practice. The patient comes in, they get treated, everything goes great, and then nothing. The referring doctor never hears what happened to the patient.
Hmm. And that matters because,
Well, the referring doctor stuck their neck out. They told their patient, hey, go see this specialist. They're great. And then they have no idea what happened. Did the patient show up? Was the treatment um, plan, completed? If the patient comes back to the GP and then asks a question, they're clueless as to what the outcome was. So that can be embarrassing for them.
so what would you say the follow-up should actually look like then?
Just even one paragraph. The patient was seen on this date. Here's what we did. Here are the next steps. That's it. It takes 2 minutes to do if you do it manually, or less than that, 0 minutes actually, if you automate the process. And it's something that makes the referring doctor feel respected. And of course, it's important for them to be informed about their patient. So they will continue to keep sending you patients because they trust the loop is closed.
Gotcha. Okay. Moving on to way number three, tracking referral sources. Tami, be honest, how many practices actually have a referral tracking system?
A real referral tracking system, I I would say 20 to 30%. Most practices know who their top referrers are. They kind of know by feel. They can usually name the top three or four referring doctors, but they may not be able to tell you the volume by provider over the last 12 months. They may not really be observing or seeing the trends.
Okay, and why does the trend matter more than the total?
Well, a referring office that sent, let's say they sent 50 patients last year and only 25 this year. That's really a five-alarm fire. You're slowly kind of losing that relationship. But if you're only looking at the totals, you might not catch that it's dropping off until they're actually at, very few or even zero referrals.
Okay, so what's the first step for a practice that's doing this by gut feel?
The first step is to pull a referral source report for the last 12 months. Most practice management systems can generate one. So take a look at it by quarter. Notice which offices are up, which are down, which offices are new. This one report will tell you exactly where you need to focus your time and attention.
But what if you can pull that report easily?
Then that's the first thing to fix because you can't manage what you can't see, right?
Yeah, totally agree with you there. Okay, moving on to way number four. So stay top of mind without being annoying. I kind of love the name of this one.
Yeah,
Um,
that's true.
where's the line on this?
The line, I believe, is value. If every touch point you have with a referring office is, hey, send us more patients, they're going to start to tune you out. But if you're offering something that's useful, maybe it's a continuing education event, patient education materials that they can hand out, or a quick lunch and learn on a new procedure. Now you're not a pest, you're actually a partner. So provide them with some value.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. And I guess a good example of this is Dental Quick Reviews. It was created by Dr. David Hoffman. It's a physical referral reminder system that he sends from the oral surgeon's office directly to the referring dentists, and it covers complex medical management topics on a regular cadence. It's a simple concept, but it keeps you relevant without asking for anything in return. So it's something that's a really good example there. Temi, how often do you think a practice should be reaching out?
A practice should be reaching out to their referral sources at least once a quarter, especially for your top referring offices. And, we recommend that you rotate the format. So don't do the same thing every time you reach out. One quarter, maybe it's an in person visit. Next quarter, send them or email them a useful resource, maybe a quick phone call another time. The point is consistent presence with purpose.
Okay, but what about smaller referring offices? So, like the ones that send maybe one, two patients a year?
Yeah, you'll still want to make sure that they receive some touch points, but no doubt there'll be lighter ones. Maybe something like a holiday card or in an invitation to your CE events, an annual check in. And, just because someone hasn't referred too many in the past, you never know when a small office is about to really grow and become a big one. So, yeah, it's really important to have some touch points.
Absolutely. Okay, last one, and this one changes the whole framing. So, treat your referral network like a pipeline. So, what would you say that means practically?
Well, it means applying the same kind of discipline to your referring doctors that a sales team applies to prospects. Segment them. Your high volume refers get the most attention. Your growing refers get nurtured. And your at risk refers, the ones where you discern that the volume is dropping, they get a proactive outreach from you before they've completely gone.
Okay, so literally categorize them into tiers.
Right. And review it quarterly. Notice who moved up, who moved down, where are the new relationships forming. Most practices, again, we talked about this, they treat all referring doctors the same. And that's a mistake. Your top 10 referrers probably do drive 50% of your new patients. So they should be getting fundamentally a different level of attention.
Okay. So what would re-engaging an at-risk referrer would actually look like then?
Well, an at risk refer, it's great to pick up the phone and contact them. Not an email, but a call. Hey, I noticed we haven't seen as many patients from your office lately. Is there anything on our end that we could be doing better? 9 times out of 10, they'll tell you exactly what happened. And usually it's something that's fixable. So that direct contact is great.
Gotcha. Okay, so before we open up for questions, let's just do a quick recap of those five. Tammy, rapid fire, one sentence each.
Okay, number one, make referrals frictionless. Digital forms, fewer steps, faster confirmation. Number two, close the communication loop. So remember, one paragraph after every patient visit, automated if it's possible to do so. The third item, track your referral sources. Pull a 12-month report, look at the trends. The fourth one, stay top of mind. Again, quarterly touch points with real value. And the fifth one, treat your referral network like a pipeline. Segment, prioritize, and re-engage.
Okay, and I guess some people might be thinking that this is a lot to take on at once. What's the one thing that they should do first?
The first thing is to pull the referral source report. That single action will tell you where to focus everything else. You can't see, you can't fix what you can't see. So you want to take a look at that report.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. Reporting is key to understanding how everything fits together. Okay, so that's the five. So we're gonna open it up for questions. If you have any, free to drop them in the chat. Tami and I are going to be here for the next few minutes. And guess while we wait, Tami, one thing I wanted to ask. If a practice is looking to migrating to a new software or moving to the cloud, what should they look into when it comes to referrals?
Yeah, when a practice is considering software or maybe thinking about moving to a new cloud software, be sure to evaluate the referral area. DSN, for example, is a software that's designed for specialists, so it has a really robust referral management area, including the comprehensive referral reports and automated letter, making it easy to communicate with your referring doctors. So evaluate what's in the software.
Okay, perfect. And it looks like we've got some questions coming in on the chat. So the first one is we've had a few referring officers switch to a competitor recently. Is there a way to win them back?
Sometimes there is. So I'd say yes. The first step is understanding why they left. And often it's not clinical, it's operational. So maybe your office was difficult to reach and possibly referrals weren't acknowledged quickly, or the referring office didn't get updates on their patients. If you can fix the friction point and reach out honestly, you'd be surprised how many will give a second chance. Um, don't badmouth the competitor. Just let them see that you're committed to improving the experience and that you care about their patients.
Okay, perfect. Another one, what's a realistic system we can set up this month to start tracking referrals better?
Keep it simple. At a minimum, track 3 things for every referring office. So you want to know how many referrals you received each month, when you last communicated with them, and any feedback or issues that they may have reported. So you can do this in a spreadsheet or in your practice management system if it will automate it for you. The key is then to assign someone on your team to own it. So if nobody owns it, it won't get done. So you want to track it, look at it, and then follow through.
Okay. See, there is quite a few more here, so I'll just try to cover them all as much as I can. Next one, should we be sending referring doctor reports on their patients' treatment outcomes?
Yes. And most practices don't do this well. Referring doctors do want to know what happened with their patient. A short post op summary or treatment update closes the loop. It shows professionalism. It also gives the referring doctor confidence to keep sending patients your way. So each time you send them something, you are building that referral relationship. If your EMR can generate these follow ups automatically, even better. It's one more manual task that your team doesn't have to do.
Okay. I have time for a couple more. So I see that there's two here that are very similar. So for a new oral surgeon in office, should the doctor be the one going out to practices? The doctor is new to the state. When should team members go out?
That's a good question. Different offices will choose different ways of introducing themselves. Sometimes those in-person visits can be very valuable. Other times they might have even an opportunity to have some kind of a gathering at their office, an open house where they invite some of those potential referrals. Or a study club is a great place to also meet some of those doctors and build a referral relationship.
Gotcha. Okay, last question that we have here. So we're a perio practice. Do these strategies apply the same way as they would for oral surgery?
Absolutely. The referral dynamics are actually very similar across oral surgery, perio, and endo. They're all specialists, and the general dentist is still the primary referral source in each of these cases. So the differences might actually show up in the clinical communication. For example, a perio office sharing, treatment outcomes and co-treatment planning updates can be especially powerful for strengthening that relationship. So they have an ongoing relationship often with that general practitioner.
Okay. Awesome, everyone. We got quite a few more questions, but that's all the time that we have for today. If we didn't get to your questions, please feel free to email marketing@dsn.com and we'll get back to you on those. If you also need a copy of the presentation, you can reach out to the same email, so marketing@dsn.com, and we can send a PDF copy to you. We will also be sending out a recording shortly, so just keep an eye out on your inbox. And yeah, thank you so much for attending this live session, and we hope you all enjoyed it.
Yeah, thank you all for taking some time. We appreciate it.
Have a good one, everyone. Bye bye.
Bye.